morning, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Vlogmas. We are back. It is December already. I cannot believe it. Well, true truth, it is not December. It'll be December 1st when you're watching this, but today is actually Friday, November 28th. It is Thanksgiving weekend here in the States, and my family is all home from college, and we're going to be doing some festive things today and tomorrow and Sunday. So I thought I'd take you with me, and this would be the first episode that will hopefully come out on December 1st. So today, like I said, is Friday. Actually, in our household, by the way, this is my cat Cole, who is joining us here. He's very black, so I don't know if he's actually going to show up very well in the video. Black cats do not photograph well. It has been a pet peeve of mine. Anyway, I digress. But so my family is home, and we also have a lot of birthdays this time of year. So my second oldest child turned 21 the day before Thanksgiving, and it was my husband's birthday actually on Thanksgiving this year. But because we always do special things for Thanksgiving anyway, we are celebrating his birthday today. So we have that going on. We're going to go get a Christmas tree at the Christmas farm today. A little bit later, my oldest actually had to work the early shift this morning from 4 to 9:30, so they are home already. And my college kids had a few appointments, and I got my exercise in, got my scones made for my husband for breakfast, and I just wanted to check in quick to say good morning and to show you a couple of the finished objects that I finished since I came to you last. Just because. And then later on in this episode, I will share with you all of my Advent knitting, which has changed, I don't know how many times in the last couple days. I start something and I think, no, that's not really bringing me enough joy. And I switch it. So I will share that with you later. But I did finish a pair of socks. And these are my Trick or Treat socks with the Berry Fun Yarns Trick or Treat colorway. And this is on the Berry Tough sock base, which is an 80-20 fingering base, and then I used a purple Knit Pick stroll fingering for the heel and the toe, and these are for me. I have not worn them yet, but I will probably this weekend because they kind of have their Halloween / Thanksgiving colorways or colors in them. And then the other crazy thing I finished is actually a crochet something, and it doesn't really look like much. It looks just like a bunch of craziness right now. But let me see if I can hold it up close. This is a popcorn garland, and I crocheted it out of Mitchell's Creations DK. It's in my project page. But it's just these little like crochet popcorn stitches. Let me see if I move my face. And I just thought it was a really fun, I purchased this skein of yarn, oh gosh, a long time ago at Zombie Knit Apocalypse, and I hadn't knit it. And now I still love this skein, but it's one of those like super highly variegated, vibrant colors that you love, but you don't know what to make it into. And I thought it'd be perfect for garland for our Christmas tree. That's pretty safe. The cats, can't eat the tinsel. Like they would the tinsel. They can't chew on it like they would lights. And so I made two. I don't know how long they are. I should measure it. But out of one skein, I got two almost about the same size, pretty long strands. So I will put those on the tree later when we get to that part in the video. And then you can see how far the garland goes on my tree. But anyway, so I finished those two things. Like I said, I have some Advent knitting going on and some gift knitting, and we're going to talk all about that later on in this video. We also are supposed to, I didn't mention earlier, it's supposed to be very festive tomorrow because we are under a winter storm warning, and we're supposed to get 8 to 11 inches of snow. I am thankful that it is on Saturday, because Sunday we have to bring kids back to college, and their schools where they go to school are supposed to get anywhere between 6 and 10 inches. And their schools one is an hour and 40 minutes away, and one is 3 hours away. So it's a it's a long day of driving. So I'm hoping that perhaps my one son will be able to carpool, so we won't have to do both trips on Sunday. Otherwise, my husband and I may need to divide and conquer because they're in opposite directions. So, but that's the plan for this weekend. We're going to go do the Christmas tree, and we'll take you along through that and the snowstorm. But I think I'm going to stop there. I'm going to go get a little bit of breakfast. I'm going to go have a scone that I made so that we can get ready to go do our errands. I think we also have to do a little shifteroo. We have to move the treadmill to the basement so we have room for the Christmas tree, and you know how that goes. Setting up Christmas decorations is fun, but it usually takes longer than you think. So I will see you guys again a little bit later, but I hope you are well and staying warm and cozy wherever you are. See you in a bit. Bye-bye.
Happy birthday to you.
Hello again. I am checking in today. It is now Saturday. Yes, I didn't come back to you yesterday to chat at all. We went to go get the Christmas tree, which you will have seen, and I have a cat underneath my tripod. We went to go get our Christmas tree, and that was a lot of fun. The place that we went was actually a place we had gone quite a few times before. But like I said, I think in the previous thing that little segment I was chatting with you, I mentioned that we hadn't gone in since 2021 when we adopted our now 3-year-old cat. And since then, it appears that the tree farm has changed ownership, and it was a lovely experience. It was very organized and efficient and all those things, but it was different. You have this sort of nostalgia around certain things. I feel like traditions really have a lot of that. But anyway, the farm used to be run by this older couple. When I say older, I just mean like he was old enough to retire. So I think he was probably in his late 60s, but the summer right before the last time we had been there, his wife had passed away. So I know I could tell that it wasn't quite the same that year. She had always made these beautiful wreaths and these like creatures out of the wooden blocks of, like scraps when they cut down the trees. So that was different. But so it makes sense, right? We get older. We can't all do the same job forever. I say this, and I know this because I live on a farm and I've been doing this for 15 years, and I don't know how much longer I want to do this, and I'm not even 50 yet. So I get it. But anyway, it was just a little different feeling. The kids too, they were like, it just feels more commercialized, Mom. it's efficient, but it just feels different. The couple that ran it before, they actually had you like came into their big barn and to check out, and it was an actual building, and they would have big barrels of peanuts, which of course I know as a person with an allergy, not very allergy friendly, but they would have these big barrels of shelled peanuts for guests to have if they'd like. And then it was just a different vibe. So we had a lot of fun. It was a beautiful day. It was sunny. I'm sure you will have seen that already with the little snippets I took. But so we did that yesterday. We came back, we set up the tree, but we decided not to decorate it and to see how the cats would react to it overnight. So if we had somebody jumping into it and tipping it over the first night, then maybe we wouldn't be putting it where we were putting it. We might have to move it somewhere more out of reach from the cats. But as luck would have it, so far, fingers crossed, it continues. They've been curious, but not like dangerously curious. My one cat, that's 3, he pretty much just wants to play and hide his toys underneath the tree skirt. Everybody else just kind of sniffs the branches and maybe chews them every once in a while. But they've been pretty good. And when we ask them to stop, or if we need to, we have a squirt bottle. We do use a squirt bottle if necessary. They do listen and they stop. So that has been good. So that was last night. And then I can't remember what I did last night. Don't think I took a ton of video. I was really tired after the excursion out and all that jazz. But we came back. We woke up this morning, and again, I was feeling it's been snowing. I don't think we've gotten the full 8 or 6, even 6 inches that they forecast, but it's been pretty steady, light snow all day. I noticed it picked up a little bit, of course, when my oldest had to leave for work at 3 o'clock, and my husband is going to go out. They are done with work at 9, so my husband was going to plow the driveway, so it'd be ready, because we are getting some drifts here out in the country. We usually get a fair number of drifts. But anyway, what I am doing is I have been knitting today. I am working on some Advent projects, but one of them is kind of a design that I've created, and it is with the Very Fun Yarns Advent. So I will probably put a little snippet here while I'm talking about what the first day looks like, but I'm not going to show you that project until the next video, because I wanted to kind of knit into it a little bit so I could show you the project more. So I had to do a few more days. But I have worked on that. But then mostly, I have this cat behind me, Mr. Cole. Mostly, I have been working on gift knits. So I'm really trying to get my gift knits done. And I did get the one done, the orange mitts. They're a little damp right now because I just I soaked them, because going back to college with my my son, who is a freshman, there for his girlfriend, and they're just the very simple. They are the my go-to fingerless gloves, and that's a pattern. I think it's by Diane something. I'll write it on the screen and below. I've made a bazillion of these before. In fact, I went to go look at the pattern page for this to download it, because I always kind of check, just to make sure I have the stitch counts right and stuff, if it's been a little while since I've knit a pair. And I noticed there were 75 projects, and I was like, oh, 70, that's quite a few, 75 projects. 11 of them are my projects, things that I have made. So I had to kind of chuckle at that. But this one I decided to do, so this is knit out of Leading Men Fiber Arts. Let me see what it says, what the base is. Showstopper Intermission. So that's their fingering weight, 75-25. And I got a half skein, so a 50-gram skein. So it had 231 yards, and it's in the saffron colorway. So that's what these are, and I have them done. The pattern actually calls for a ribbed edging, and I decided to do, because it's a little thinner, I didn't, which is funny, two things that don't exactly go together. Because it was a little bit thinner, I did decide to go ahead and do 26 stitches on the thumb instead of 25. But then after I got almost done with the first one, I realized why. And that's because when you're supposed to be a little ribbing at the top here. And it's a 5-stitch repeat ribbing. And that's why it's supposed to be 25 stitches, not 26. So in the end, I didn't fuss with them. I just made them stockinette and they curl over. I have a pair like this and I like them just fine. So that's what I did with those. What was else? But the funny thing I was going to tell you is that I normally make these mittens with the US 0. And when I was making them with the US 0, it just felt kind of tight to me this time. Now I haven't checked my gauge entirely. It may be that I did knit them looser, but so I ripped them out and I started them on a US 1. And I just really enjoyed how they felt when I was knitting them. So that's what I did with those. So I finished those. And then the second pair, I'm making another pair for my son who's a freshman. And these I've cast on since the last podcast. They are in this beautiful green yarn. I do not know if I have the ball band. I think it's Anzula yarn, but I will see if I can find it and I will put it down below and add it to my project page because I don't think I've done that yet. I purchased this yarn, that's what it looks like in the cake, back in spring, I think, April-ish timeframe, when we went to Iowa and with my knit group and we had a retreat there. So it's pretty new stash, but I picked that out for Elliot's mitts, and those will be a Christmas gift. So I'm getting pretty far. This is only my first one, but if I've been continuing my 15-minute knit challenge where I knit on each of the gift knits at least 15 minutes a day. And I just have this one and a pair of socks left. And then I will probably switch over to my oldest who wants the Sophie shawl, which isn't a Christmas gift. It's just because it's cold in Minnesota gift. So that is the plan there. And I have this one in my very cute Festive Whimsy Stitches little bag. Isn't that cute? I think Rick is having a sale this weekend, so I will put that in the link below if you're interested in that. And then the other gift knit I wanted to show you is the pair of socks. And I think I showed these to you on the last episode, but I have gotten a little bit farther, in fact, quite a bit farther. I finished, oops, it's still connected in there. I have my little cute progress keeper from Lock and Lou. Isn't that pretty? I finished a sock. So these are the Show Me Yarn socks. They are knit out of the Show Me Yarn colorway. Let's see if I have it here. It is called The Great Outdoors. Show Me Yarn doesn't actually dye yarn anymore, but you may be able to find some on a D-stash somewhere. But they make lovely self-striping, and these are really fun. So I finished the first one, and then the cuff and the toe is a very similar color. It's a stroll fingering in the colorway Serene, I believe. Yes. So I finished the first one, and I think I did cast on the second one. Let's see. I tried to cast on the second one right away. I did. So it's just a barely cast on, maybe just a row or two. You can see it there in my needles. So my plan is to get working on these. Tomorrow we do have to drive. Luckily, my son, who is in a university in Wisconsin and is a little farther away, is going to be carpooling back to school with a friend. So that is great, because otherwise we'd have to go 3 hours one way, 3 hours back, and then 2 hours the opposite direction and 2 hours back, in which case we would have divided and conquered, and my husband would have done one and I would have done the other. But this way is perfect because I get to go along, and usually my husband gets car sick if he doesn't drive. So he usually, if he needs a nap, he'll take a nap and then we'll switch back. But most of the time he drives and I'm just there to keep him company. So I knit. So I'm hoping I will get some work done on these 2 gift knits tomorrow, and I will show you the progress later tomorrow before I sign off this video. But I am planning for this video to be my filming through most of the day tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon, and then I will edit it and hopefully it'll come up on the 1st sometime. So yeah, so that is it. I'm not going to show you my Advent knitting just yet because I actually haven't really started any Advent knitting except the one project that I don't want to show you yet because I don't want to spoil the colors. So what I'm going to do right now, you can't really see this very well, but I'll probably take a little picture of it and put it in here after I'm done chatting with you here. But my husband and I, we do well, actually, it's mostly me, but this year my husband did help me do a little bit of the shopping. A couple years ago, when our youngest turned 12, and I then had 2 kids away in college, we decided to make homemade Advent kits for them. So they had something special to open each day of the month in December as they were getting ready for finals and all those things. And it was a big hit. So it has kind of gotten bigger every year. And this year, my husband and I chatted, and you know, kids are getting older. It's really hard to buy them Christmas gifts. So we just decided we were going to do a little bit bigger goodies in our Advent countdown. And then we would do the 25th day would just be a small gift from us. That probably will include a gift certificate. And I have made everybody a either knitted socks or mittens or something to go with it. So it's going to be more of like a whole month of goodies and gifts. And we eat gluten-free in our house, except my husband and my oldest do eat a little bit of gluten, but everybody else is gluten-free. And so little like goodies, things like hip peas and what else? Little like allergy-friendly M&Ms and things like that. Those sorts of things can get expensive and they're very processed. So we do not buy them most of the year. But during this time, we try to purchase fun things for them to have like a special treat each day. Now, I could never eat my whole bag of hip peas and a whole candy bar in one day. That's not my jam. But sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But it's the fun of opening it every day. So my job, all that rambling tonight, is to wrap all these gifts. So I don't like wrap them with wrapping paper, but I put them in little bags, like if you have an Advent yarn countdown, or if it's a bigger goodie, I put it in like a lunch bag and I just staple it shut and put the number and the kid's name on it. And I make one for my husband as well. And I keep some of the goodies for myself, but I do not eat through these sorts of things very fast. So I do not keep one of everything for myself. But that's okay, because then sometimes I can get myself a special something else, just one bigger thing instead of a goodie every day. Okay, so I think that's it. I'll probably do a little filming here yet tonight and then tomorrow when we travel, and I'll hopefully be able to come back on one more time and chat before this first episode is over. So I hope you are continuing to have a cozy day wherever you are, and I will see you tomorrow. Hello friends, I am back for one more little chatty segment before I wrap up this first episode of Vlogmas. I was kind of hoping that I would have more to share with you about my Advent knitting, but I just haven't gotten really into much besides the one project I was telling you about before, which I don't want to reveal all those colors until the next episode. So what I am going to do though is I'm just going to tell you what am I working on. So I have decided I have a couple different projects. So I'm working on the new kind of surprise design of my own that I will show you the next time with the Very Fun Yarns Advent. And then I kind of, as I list all these, they're kind of a lot. So I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done on each one. I've kind of decided that this Advent is going to be all about the process and enjoying the process, and I'm not going to worry about finishing it. All I'm really going to worry about finishing is the gifts that I have left, which are just 2. And I am in the second mitt and the second sock of both of those. So that should not be a problem. Hopefully I'll make some good progress on those in the coming days. I think they're going to become my treadmill knitting because the sock is stockinette and the mitten is a really simple knit 3, purl 2 ribbing, and I can do them both while I walk. So that's an hour of knitting every day that I can dedicate to those. So on top of finishing those, I would like to work on, I got the Polka Dot Creek. They put out a couple different Advent kits every year. But this year I got from them a 10-gram mini skein set. And it was actually, I think it was called a European Christmas or European Christmas market. I'll have more details the next time because I have kind of put it back away. I did wind a few of those skeins, but when it came to me, it came as a big bouquet of 10-gram minis, so they weren't individually wrapped. But when I got it at the end of August, what I did decide to do is I kind of put them in order of how I'd like to knit or crochet them, and I wrapped them up. So I'm going to be opening those every day, and those aren't really a secret because you know, they weren't wrapped all the way. Sorry, I thought I heard somebody coming in. But so I'm going to show you, I'm making a project with that. And with that, I want to make the Cozy Country Advent Scarf by Lucienne Crochet. So I'm really hoping I can figure it out. I started it. I am a crocheter, but I don't really read crochet patterns very well. It's not something that I do. I just kind of like wing it when I crochet as far as like the rows and stuff. So I did start it. So this, if you recall, is a pattern that has a main color, and then it has the 24 accent colors. So for my main color, I'm just using my Yak sock, which is a lovely gray. I'm using the undyed version. So you can see this is supposed to be the border of it. So I just started the border, and I tried to start, this is the first color. It's like a little green, kind of foresty green color. I started it, but my numbers did not add up. So I think somewhere in here, my count is wrong. Now, luckily, the good thing with crochet is that when you mess it up, it's not a big deal to rip it out because it goes fairly fast. So I think what I'm going to do is later tonight, after I'm done planning my son's school for tomorrow, I am going to rip this out row by row and just count and make sure I'm guessing. I mean, it looks straight to me. It doesn't look like I added or subtracted, but according to the pattern, I do not have enough stitches. I'm like 4 or 5 short, so maybe I just didn't chain enough. I don't know. I'm going to go back and count, but I really want to figure this out. I want to be a better crocheter. That's one of my goals, I guess, in the new year, to kind of learn to read the patterns and be a little more adventurous. So to do something more than just a granny square or granny stripe or something that's really simple. I will say, I thought that this pattern, now I'm going to kind of scan, it is a paid for pattern, so I'm not going to tell you all the secrets, but I really thought that this pattern, I'm looking at it a little bit, but I really thought that it was more like the crochet advent baby blanket, and it is not. It's very different. The crochet advent baby blanket is a true like chevron. It doesn't have any treble crochets in it or any of these other kinds of stitches. This one is definitely different. So if you were looking at that pattern after my advent pattern suggestions video, you might, just so you know, it is a little more complicated for sure than that other one. So anyway, that's the Cozy Country Advent Scarf, and I'm hoping to get that started and going and just feeling confident with the number of stitches I have per row so that I know where the end is, because I really think that is the main battle in crochet. Once you know how to tension your yarn, it's being able to recognize the stitches and have the right number each row. So that is that. And I am actually crocheting mine on a 2.75 millimeter crochet hook. The pattern I think is 3.5 millimeter, but it says if you're a loose knitter or a loose crocheter, you should go down to 3. And I don't have a 3. This is the closest I have. And this is usually what I use when I crochet fingering weight. So I'm feeling pretty confident that's the right size. I just need to figure out the pattern. So that is that. Then I'm going to be working on my Sweet Shop blanket, which I will pull out shortly. But I think I want to get these other projects going before I pull that out. But the Sweet Shop blanket, which I started last year, I'm going to work on. And then the final thing is the Freckled Whimsy 24 stripe Advent sock yarn. So I'm going to make a pair of socks. And I did wind the yarn today, and it is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So I was thinking that I was just going to do one sock during the month, and then in January I would do the other sock, but I don't know, I might want to just do the both of them. So we'll kind of see. And like I said, this year I have so much going on yet with my health that I just want this part of my life to bring me nothing but joy. So that is my plan. So I'll probably cast that on tonight or tomorrow. So you'll see that one and more of this Advent scarf. And so I have 4 Advent projects, I guess, if we count them. The blanket, the scarf, the socks, and then the other one that I'm making with Very Fun Yarns is also a scarf, but it is knit. So that's it. I am going to try and wrap up here. It is about 4:30 right now. We got back from dropping off one of my kids at college about an hour ago, and I want to give this kind of time to my videos to upload into the cloud so that I can edit and have a video for you tomorrow. So I hope you have enjoyed this first episode and that you are finding some cozy, festive things to do right now. And I will see you again probably, I'm thinking Wednesday or Thursday. So either the 3rd or the 4th. I'm thinking I'll probably put out about 3 or so videos a week. We'll see, unless I get really chatty and I want to tell you lots of things. So, okay, everybody, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.